Hi, I'm Dr. Kathy Orpalo, Leader Coach for Huron Student Education, and it is my privilege to introduce you to some of our partners who continue to demonstrate bold leadership in their organizations. Early childhood and Head Start programs are the first entry point to school. The Child Development Centers Incorporated, regional centers across central and western Pennsylvania, are committed to improving services to students and families. Listen to how they work continuously to improve, as Luke Braughler, Director of Organizational Development, describes how they eliminate barriers and create systems around improvement.
My name is Luke. I'm the Director of Organizational Development at Child Development Centers, or CDC as we call it. And at CDC, we've worked to establish what we call 60-day quality improvement cycles. And these quality improvement cycles really work to fuel our scorecard. We felt like we needed something intentional behind our scorecard, some sort of system or process to really help us to flesh it out and get it off of the paper and kind of real life operations and data. So this is the process that we've been working towards. At the 60-day quality improvement cycle, really there's a lot that goes into it, but the heart of it is really rounding. And we can round in a lot of different ways here, but two of the primary ways we round is through supervisor rounding, and then also through 30 and 90-day conversations. Supervisor rounding is just what it is. All of our supervisors round with their employees every 60 days, and that's all across the organization in all 3 counties that we serve. When they round with their employees, though, we really encourage them and we really try to focus on targeted rounding, meaning that our rounding is intentional and it's specific on things that we want to improve upon or things that are on our scorecard. And we find that the more specific that we are with rounding, the more quality data that we get, rather than just a general conversation with an employee. So those specific conversations really provide a lot of good data for us on how we can improve and how we can meet our goals on our scorecard. Another way that we round, like I said, is through the 30 and 90-day conversations. So at CDC, every employee that's newly hired has 2 conversations with an administrative staff, usually myself, within their first 3 months of employment. And first one is 30 days from their hire date, and then the second one being 90 days from their hire date. And this is really beneficial for both the employee, but also for us as well. For the employee, it gives them an opportunity to meet with somebody from administration twice on top of being rounded by their supervisor. Gives them an opportunity to share ideas and feel valued as a new employee, and also gives us an opportunity to work out any kinks that they might be experiencing as they're coming into the organization. On our end of it, though, we get really great data from these people for quality improvement. Every person that we talk to that's a new hire is a fresh set of eyes on operations. They don't know our normal routines, they don't know our normal way of doing things, so they get to come in and really get a fresh perspective and give us a lot of great feedback. And we've been able to make a lot of quality improvements just based off of the feedback and the ideas that new hires have for us. And so then after all this rounding takes place, every 60 days at the end of the quality improvement cycle, we collect our data. So we collect rounding data from hundreds of employees every 2 months. And we take that data and we spend time going through it piece by piece, school by school, department by department, and we look for trends that are in the data. So is there something that we're getting feedback on in multiple locations, or maybe multiple people in one location? And for us, that's a flag that tells us, hey, maybe that's an area that needs quality improvement or something that we need to look at further. And so we go through those trends, and then as an administrative team, we make quality improvements, and that helps to, again, fuel our scorecard and help us meet those goals. Great system, but just like anything, obviously it has its struggles. I think probably the biggest struggle for us, and we're still in our first year of implementing all this, so we're learning as we go. But really probably the biggest struggle for us is having consistency across the board. We have a lot of people rounding and a lot of rounding going on in different departments and different locations. And so I think trying to build a high level of consistency with that is definitely a challenge. But I guess the way that we approach it is we just keep talking about it. We keep having meetings about it. We keep training supervisors on how to round and how to get better feedback. We try to provide support for them. We round with them and get feedback about the process and try to make adjustments so it's less of a burden for supervisors, because it really is an enjoyable process getting to connect with employees. Continuing on that journey, but while we're trying to figure all that out, though, we've had a lot of successes. A lot of good things have come from this process by looking at data every 60 days. Some examples of that are simple but impactful things like making changes to supply order forms or making changes to our orientation process. We've started talking about benefits to employees differently and online training differently. But we've also had some bigger ticket items as well that we've addressed. We've increased the amount of PTO and paid time off that employees get at child development centers based off of feedback we've got. We've started what's called a child concern help desk. So if there is a teacher that has a concern about a child, she can immediately get that information to somebody and that can be addressed. And something that's very exciting for us is we've started a education advisory committee. And again, this is all based off of feedback that we've gotten from employees. They would like to have more of a say in student achievement and curriculum. And that on our scorecard is a big ticket item. So they want more input on that, and they also want more of a connection with our CEO. So we've started this committee where teachers get nominated by their peers to be on the committee, and they meet monthly with the CEO about those areas, which is really exciting for us. So a lot of great things going on with quality improvement, and we're really finding this continuous cycle of every 60 days collecting data, talking to employees, seeing what trends and improvements we can make is really helping us to fuel our scorecard and make improvements.